Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. So our talk today is going to be over tornado shelters and safe room designs. We're going to focus mainly on the tornado sides and not the hurricane shelters. The same codes we'll be talking about that address the tornadoes also address hurricane shelters, although your wind speeds are lower and there's some other different criteria in there. But mainly we're going to be talking on the tornado side, the structural engineering portion of it, but we will hit on some other topics as well. So as I stated, I've been doing these for about 20 years. I've also worked with FEMA on the update of 361 and 320, which are basically the Bibles for safe room design in combination with ICC 500. Let's get to slide. So here you guys are probably scattered throughout the U.S. and the maps here found online. You can see that in the Midwest, where we have most of the tornado activities, Texas 155, Kansas 96, Missouri, where we're located, about 45 tornadoes annually. And one thing we've noticed also is that over the last 10, 15 years, it seems to be we're having a lot more EF4s, EF5s. Since they've been keeping track since 1950, only about 1.5% of your tornadoes are an EF4 or an EF5. The vast majority are much smaller tornadoes. The one thing we'll be talking about today is also the Joplin event, just because it's one of the deadliest tornadoes on record, and that hit back in May of 2011. Had 161 fatalities at that death. That year also we had 553 deaths due to tornadoes. And since 1950, we've had over 5,600. That number, I think, when you add in the last 9 years, is closer to 6,000 now. They officially started keeping records of all the tornado data in 1950. Some recent EF5s that we've talked about, the Greensburg, Kansas, and you've seen Joplin, Missouri, Tuscaloosa, Moore, Oklahoma, and Oklahoma City area that's actually had 3 EF5s hit that area since 1999. The first one was the May 3rd, 99 tornado, which had wind speeds recorded at 309 miles an hour. The tornado was well over a mile wide for the majority of that on the ground. And that tornado is kind of important because that is when FEMA started the 361 publication, was the events following the May 3rd, 99 tornado down in Oklahoma City. And so that's kind of led us to the 361, the 320, and then also the development of ICC 500 was based on what we saw after that storm. Now, one thing you'll notice that we do design to 250 mile an hour winds, not the 309 that was experienced in that tornado. The Joplin event, this one got quite a bit of news because of the devastation it caused. It was on May 22nd, 2011. It was on a Sunday afternoon. Just a small portion of that storm actually rated as an EF5. It did have wind speeds over 200 miles an hour, so that's actually on the very low end of the EF5. The path was about 3/4 to a mile wide, and is about 22 miles long, and is on the ground for, I think, about 38 minutes. But it killed 161 people, and it destroyed over 6,900 homes. And this is kind of a map, and this is found in some of the FEMA publications in the Corps, and showing, if you're not familiar with Joplin, I'll show you a map here to kind of put this in perspective. But they map these on all the EF4s and 5s. FEMA sends a team out, and they map the destruction of the storms. The dark reds in the middle, these are catastrophic damage. So basically, at those locations, you have pavement left. There's really no structures, no trees, and then you have lighter damage as you get farther from that path. But if you, from the aerial photographs, this is taken shortly after, you can kind of see the bare dirt down through there where the main path came. And this one's really important because it hit several schools. It hit a multi-story cast-in-place concrete hospital. Is a Mercy hospital, and it actually twisted the main structural system on that hospital, and it was deemed not salvageable and was destroyed, and they built a new one in town. So you had a lot of different types. You had some big box stores, there's Walmarts, Home Depots, multi-story wood-framed apartment buildings. So you had a lot of different types of construction hit by this event back then. Now, so here, to kind of give it a scale, that's Manhattan Island. So you can kind of get an idea of just the devastation this been to Joplin. So this important picture here, because this is the high school in Joplin. And events like these are why now we have safe room criteria in the codes. What was important on this day is that graduation ceremonies was taking place right before the storm hit. And this year they were hosted at a local college just outside of town to the east. So a large population was at that location. In the past, it was held at the high school,